Would you mind just starting to say spell first and last name and give me your title as well, please?
Sure, no problem. It's Grant Majors, Grantmagers. I am the CEO of American Rounds, and we're based out of Dallas.
Perfect. So what take me a little bit through kind of the origination of your guys' company. How did you guys come up with the idea for the ammo vending machines and all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So my partner and I were looking at this technology in a kind of a different venture at the time, different business sector, and we had some strategic partners in the grocery store space. The stores, they actually approached us. They like, hey, we like where you're going, like what your ideas are, but our customers really would like to be able to purchase ammunition. And how do you feel about these machines work for that, and how would you feel about going that direction with us? And we looked at it, we did our due diligence, and we said absolutely, let's do it. So really, this grocery store is initiated. Yeah.
Really? So then you guys have six, if I'm seeing this correctly, six outside of Texas, and then one, the first one now in Texas in Canyon Lake. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we have one in Alabama currently. We have four in Oklahoma, one in Canyon Lake. We're adding one next week in Colorado, and then we're adding another one at the other Lowe's Canyon Lake location as well, approximately the following week.
Gotcha. So sometime this month or early next month, there will be another one at the other Lowe's location in.
So that'll give us 8 by the end of the month.
Perfect. So can you kind of walk me through? I was talking to some residents yesterday, and some are happy, some are weirded out by it. Walk us through a little bit of how it works. I took a video of kind of walking through a little bit of the features and stuff, but can you kind of explain to me how it works, what the protections are that you have on it to make sure that underage people might not be able to use it?
Yeah, would it be okay if I give some context? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so a lot of people, when they hear what we're doing, they're thinking about it in their minds. They have this idea of this old-fashioned vending machine where a candy bar is dropping down to the bottom, and you're reaching in and taking it and going. And they have this idea that you're going to go up and stick a 20 into a machine, and it's going to just give you ammunition, which it seems absurd, which I would agree that would be absurd. But we have to look at it in the context of what we're doing. We have to look at it in the context of how ammunition is sold today. And that's really what kind of drove us to getting into the business. So ammunition is sold today either off the shelf in retail locations or online. Okay, both of those situations, they sits there on the shelf like in a big box retail store, no different than a box of cereal in your grocery store. It's easily accessible. I've gone into stores and found open boxes of 223 ammunition, which would be easy for someone just to dump in a bag and walk away with. There's a high rate of theft. There's also a low rate of identification checking at big box retails. You can go right up to the front cashier and go out with your ammo. And rarely, I can tell you personally, in all my life, I've never been carded for purchasing ammo. And when you look at those factors, and then you consider online, a lot of ammunition purchases going online. So how easy is it for a minor to walk up to a website and click, yes, I am 21, or yes, I am 18, and then have ammunition shipped to the house with their parents' credit card? So when you start taking the context of how ammunition is sold and what we're trying to do, we really believe we have the safest and most secure method of selling ammunition in the country. And we're really trying to better our communities that way, while still maintaining the integrity of the Second Amendment and law-abiding, responsible gun ownership. And so how our machines work is that it's about 42-inch touchscreen. You can go up to it like a tablet. You can just scroll up and down, select the product you want. It goes to a cart. And when you're going to go to check your cart out, it's going to ask you to insert your driver's license. You're going to insert your driver's license. It's going to scan that ID, and it's doing a couple of things. It's first making sure it is a legal ID. It's not expired. It's not a fake ID. It's going to make sure you're of legal age. In our case, 21. You have to be 21 to use our machines. Even though in some states, legal age is 18 to buy ammo, we require 21 in our machines to err on the side of safety. Then it's going to do a facial recognition scan of the person, and it's going to pair them to the ID. Okay. And so whether it's looking for at the face versus the picture on the ID, it's an active facial recognition. So you can't just hold a picture up in front of it or something like that. And it's going to pair to that picture. And if it's going to identify that you are the person that has that ID and that you're purchasing. So once that ID validation is completed, and it's all good, then the transaction can be completed. If the ID fails, there's no transaction. So, you know, our ammo is tucked away. It's not out on a shelf. It's not easy. People can't just walk in. They're inside stores. They're not outside like some people have, thought like a red box. They have security cameras on them. We reduce theft. We ID every purchase of ammo that comes through, which is required by law. That doesn't generally happen. So we are the only company that does it every single transaction. We're the safest and most secure way to purchase ammo. And one thing that people think is, okay, now I had to just correct. In fact, on 8:20 a.m. today, one of their talk show hosts was misrepresenting, and I think it was just an assumption on his part. I don't think it was done in malice, but he was saying that we store the data. We absolutely do not. We do not store on a server on the cloud. We do not sell. We do not share our customers' driver's license identification or facial recognition picture. We know that none of that is ever stored with our company. We respect our customers' privacy and their Second Amendment rights to purchase ammo.
If it's cool with you, I'd like to go through a couple of the concerns that I heard yesterday, just so you can address those. The main one was, I guess, not particularly having to do with the machine itself, but it was the placement of it. The one in Canyon Lake, it was the store that it's at is literally right next to a middle school. So some parents had an issue with the location that store having this machine and the availability of it, the visibility of it, because their kids go there every day after school. What would you say to that?
Listen, we certainly are sensitive and respect that there are various opinions in our country when it comes to, the Second Amendment, firearms, ammunition, and I'm sensitive to, everybody's concerns, and we like to talk to everybody. We have, our grocery stores are there. What I try to remind people is that, in generally most cases, there's a Walmart nearby, and over 2,000 of Walmart stores, they sell ammunition. And I think people forget that, Walmart's a grocery store, but they sell ammunition. The difference is that Walmart has a quote sporting goods section. So people don't really make that connection that it's also a grocery store right there. And so these grocery stores, they've been wanting to offer, ammunition to their customers as a category, to be competitive in the marketplace. And that's what some of their customers have requested. I also think that when you look at people that have malintent, they're wanting to do harm, they most likely don't want to go to purchase their ammo at a place that A, requires credit card, B, is under surveillance, C, is going to take your ID, 3, is going to have people looking at you buying it in the store, C, is going to do a facial recognition. Most of those people with malintent, they go to their pawn shops, they pay cash, they order online, things of that nature. So, we try to take every precaution, safety, and I understand those fears and I'm sensitive to them. My 2 boys are grown now, but I could understand. We were going to continue to provide the safest possible method of selling ammunition while maintaining the integrity of the Second Amendment.
This is probably more of a question for the owner of Lowe's, but at that particular location, as soon as you come in the door, it's like right there. As I'm sure you're aware of where it is, but when they asked you, did you approach Lowe's or do grocery stores approach you, or how does that work when it comes to placing these products in stores?
The grocery stores approached us about bringing on the product to the store. Typically we want like them placed near the registers up front where there's traffic and they're viewed, not in the back corner of the store where there's less traffic. That's for security's sake and for market positioning, I suppose, and wanting to be closer to the traffic. but it also helps with security when there's more eyes around and who's purchasing ammo. So, that's kind of how it came out. But in this case with Lowe's, they approached us. And yeah, absolutely. We're willing to work with them. They've been great to work with, by the way. They are, fantastic organization. Their staff is fantastic. They communicate well. They're enthusiastic. And we've gotten the majority of the feedback we've gotten is all positive. I'm not going to say that we don't get some concerns or negative feedback, of course. People have different opinions, but I would say that 98% of the feedback we're getting is enthusiastic, and we're very grateful for the support. Feel blessed by the support.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it seem like the reaction down there that I got was all negative because while we were in the store yesterday, people were just walking up and taking pictures of it and thought it was awesome. Is that kind of the sentiment you've gathered from people? Is that one, you hear like ammo vending machine and you're like, all right, give me a candy bar and a
Right.
a round of 22, but you don't but you don't think like this high tech thing. Is that kind of the reaction you've been getting from customers? Is like, oh, this is a kind of novelty, awesome item.
It's kind of how when this thing took off. We've been in the stores, some of these stores now for months, and it's it kind of finally caught wave, and we've had all this attention, and immediately the instant reaction was, oh my gosh, ammo vending machines. This is crazy. We don't like to call them vending machines. We call them automated retail machines. Automated ammunition retail machines, ARM as an acronym. I think that what we want is, people to understand is that, when you got to go back to the context of how ammunition is sold, right? Which is safer, sitting on the shelf where it's easily theft, where they may not check ID, someone online where anybody can purchase it and just say they are who they are and you don't really know? Or is it safer environment to where you go, your ID's always checked, you can't get to it to steal it and walk out? Which is the safer approach. And I think everybody in agreement wants a safer environment. I think we all agree for the most part, that we support the Second Amendment and the laws of the land that makes the United States, us. But I think we also all agree that there's responsibility to, be as safe as we can, be as secure as we can, be responsible. And that is, what we want to do with our machines and our technology, and what we'll continue to do, as technology advances and as we can improve our offering.
You've mentioned a couple times the retail aspect of it and how easily things can be stolen from stores. One other thing that I heard from people who are detractors of your machines are that one of the lines of defense, I guess, is the person selling the ammo to a person. They're the ones that check the ID. They're the ones that can see wrongdoing, I guess. What would be your comment to that?
Well, I can tell you. So there was an investigative report done not long ago. You could probably look it up and find it. A news outlet sent in some investigative reporting to 5 different big box retailers. 4 out of 5 sold to minors. So 80% of those stores sold to minors. So they can talk. Experts can say, oh, it's better to have a person there checking the idea. The truth and the reality of it is it rarely happens. Right? You can go right now up the street into one of the big box retailers. There's one not far from me. I can go get it off the shelf, walk to the front, cash out. They never asked me for my ID. So, I mean, it is just simply a fact that, it's while it's supposed to be a law, while it's supposed to be required, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And the truth is, there was a big box retailer up in the Northeast. Again, you can look this up. I won't mention their name. They had 500,000 rounds of ammunition stolen. There was recently a store in Greenville, Texas, that had a bunch of ammunition stolen. I mean, so when we have to look at the reality of what it is. We're the only company that always checks the ID.
And last couple of things for you. So since you guys have started this and started implementing these machines, how has business been? What has the clientele been saying, and how have you seen the reaction from a lot of people?
It's been phenomenal. I mean, it's just like you were saying, Canyon Lake. I mean, people take pictures with the machine, they're posting on the internet. We get nothing but positive feedback. You know what? Some of our machines in Oklahoma, that the one of the store managers was telling us that the law enforcement officers are the ones that buy the most from our machines. I mean, we've had great feedback. Um, you know, sales have increased 800% since the word got out. So, you know, I mean, people are engaging the machine. It's very user friendly. It doesn't take long to do it. Once you're comfortable with the machine, you understand the process. It's you know, it's simple for folks, and we're just getting tremendous feedback.
Is there a limit to how much you can buy at one time?
Well, you know, there's a limit at some level and compared to most retail stores because the machines will only hold so much per SKU, right? So someone's not going to be able to walk up and buy 50 boxes of 9 millimeter. You know, they're going to be able to buy 5,000 rounds of 9 millimeter at one of our machines or something like that. Um, you know, so we don't put a limit on, you know, the box because there's just not that, you know, there's only so many per SKU. So, you know, so we don't necessarily put a limit on that. I can tell you that I think the most anybody's ever purchased at one time was about 3 boxes roughly. Um, so, you know, that's, you know, not a lot compared to other people that are buying 10,000 rounds online and various things. So we're, you know, it's been so far this has been it's been a real success.
What have you said that a lot of your clientele is law enforcement? What other, I don't know if you guys have this research or whatever, but what other kind of people? Is it hunters? Is it law enforcement? Like, who are you kind of aiming towards? What is your general audience?
Yeah, you know, in general, a lot of it's hunting. I mean, a lot of it's hunting because we are in those rural communities. So hunters, you know, sports shooters, people that like to, you know, shoot clays or go to the range. You know, we sell a lot of target rounds. You know, certainly we have some, you know, self-defense rounds in there. We do sell some, not as much self-defense rounds as we do more of the sport rounds and things of that nature. So, you know, really our clientele is that, you know, we kind of look at it, we kind of class, you know, maybe three major classifications when you think about those who, you know, who are, you know, enjoy firearms, or, you know, and that's generally hunting, sport shooting, you know, and or home defense, you know, that nature. And those are generally our customers. You know, surprisingly for us, some of the most enthusiastic customers we have are women that, you know, that are shooters, or that they use it for self-protection. We've had a wonderful feedback from women all across the, you know, the states that we're in. Um, you know, and we're, you know, again, you know, the customers themselves have been super supportive, and, you know, we're thankful for them.
Right, I think that's all the questions I have for you. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, only thing I'd like to just kind of close with is just, you know, just to reiterate, you know, it really is about, you know, a safe response to firearm usage, and we hope that we're contributing to that to better the community. That's our goal. You know, I think, you know, we're going to create some other offerings to the machines that aren't necessarily ammo related, things like NRA memberships or USCCA memberships or hunting and fishing licenses potentially. These are things that are in the works that we want to bring to the machines. So you know, we're trying to continually develop and bring our customers more offerings, and we will always continually put safe air on the side of safety for our customers.